Welcome back, everyone. This is GTA Failure. This video is a response to a challenge that one of my viewers sent in to me. Before I get into the challenge, I'll just point out that right now I'm using the wanted level cheat code a few times to give me the maximum 6 stars. And now I'm going to do my best to pass this particular rampage with 6 stars. And this rampage requires you to destroy 10 vehicles with grenades. Although the game doesn't actually check to see if you're the one responsible for the vehicles getting destroyed. So for example, if a tank were to run into one of these other vehicles and the vehicle explodes, I still get credit for it in terms of the 10. Okay, so the challenge comes from the YouTuber The Marcin from GTA Games, and in one of my comment sections, Marcin wrote, "For each of the 20 rampages, raise your wanted level to the highest amount you think you can survive, and complete each rampage while maintaining the chosen wanted level." So by putting in that bit about maintaining the wanted level, Marcin has outlawed me using bribe stars to right away decrease my wanted level during the rampage. So that was pretty smart of Marcin. So if Marcin had stopped there, then I think I would have been able to pretty easily do most of the rampages with 6 stars by finding a place to stand during the rampage that is, you know, kind of protected from the tanks and the soldiers and all the guys who are after me. So there's challenge 1 complete, 1 of 20 with 6 stars there. This next rampage is going to be another vehicle destroy rampage. In this case, we're going to try it with 5 stars because I couldn't pass it with 6. And this one you have to destroy 13 vehicles using rockets. Okay, so coming back to what Marcin wrote, he added the following. There is one snag, though. You are not allowed to hide from the police. No going onto rooftops, no going into interiors, behind walls or bushes, no going into vehicles unless it's mandatory. Simply don't be a buster. You are, of course, allowed to run away from the enemies, but you mustn't hide. So pretty much stay on the street or sidewalk or whatever, but no hiding. Okay, so it's a good thing for Marcin that he put that in, because I was for sure planning on being a buster for all of my attempts. In fact, even when I'm just speedrunning this game without having an artificially high wanted level like in this video, I'm a buster throughout. I mean, like I often go through my rampages without taking any damage, not because I'm like awesome at them, but just because I'm, you know, hiding behind stuff all the time. Okay, so Marcin has made a very good, very difficult challenge, but I'm going to do my best here, and hopefully this is entertaining. Note that I'm up to 6 stars, but I'm calling this a 5-star attempt because that's what I put in at the start of the rampage. Okay, 2 for 2. This next rampage is going to be with 4 stars because I couldn't pass it with 5 or 6. In this one, we need to kill 25 triads with the Uzi. When I play this game for speed, I get into a car and I do drive-bys on all the triads, and that counts in terms of the 25 kills. But we're going to do as much as we can for this challenge on foot and staying in the right on the yellow line in the middle of the road, run and gun. I feel like this entire video is going to be like any of the trailers that came out for GTA 3 when it was first released. Just Claude versus the world, a one-man army against all of the police and FBI and military. Okay, when you start a new game, you only get a maximum of 4 stars. And even if you do more crimes and you already have 4 stars, it stays capped at 4 stars at the beginning of a game. The 5-star possibility doesn't unlock until you've officially unlocked the second island, Staunton Island. And then the 6-star possibility doesn't become available until you've officially unlocked the third island, Shoreside Vale. So in this particular save file, this isn't the save file I've been using throughout the series you're watching here, but in this particular save file, I have completed a very late game mission. I think it's Sam. So anyway, all 3 islands are unlocked, which is how I was able to get the 6 stars available. Although, you know, you're going to see I'm not going to be able to do many of these challenges with 6 stars, but I just wanted the possibility, so that's why I picked this save file. 35 health points. This is no problem at all. 19 health points. Easy. Easy. And so in this particular save file, I have not done paramedic, and so I cannot run. I don't have infinite sprint, so you'll see me sometimes running out of sprint. But if I can just sort of tap the sprint button while I'm running, then I, in theory, will never run out of sprint, and I'll be able to go pretty quick. Okay, here's another 4-star attempt. I'm going to fast forward and double speed some drive here. I know Marcin said don't get into a car unless it's necessary. I'm gonna say it's necessary. I just had a devil of a time getting enough Diablos to spawn at the starting location when the cops were all that after me. So I haven't like killed anybody yet, and so I feel okay. I've taken up 30 seconds, but I haven't like technically really started the rampage because I hadn't taken out any Diablos yet. So I think this is an okay attempt, staying within the spirit of the law that Marcin set. Okay, so the cheat code that I typed in is more police please. You type that in and you get 2 stars added to your current wanted level up to a maximum of 6 or less than 6 if you haven't unlocked all 3 islands. All right, in all of these rampages, like I said, using a late game save file, so everything is unlocked, but I can't sprint. The fact that I can't sprint isn't really that big a deal. It's not as big a deal as I thought it would be, honestly, because the fact is, of the 20 rampages, only 4 of them involve holding a weapon that allows you to sprint in the first place. And so for the other 16 rampages, you're generally holding heavy weapons, and you cannot sprint when you're holding heavy weapons. There's a couple of rampages that you do in cars, which obviously whether you can sprint or not doesn't matter. So it's only 4 of the rampages where sprinting is possible, and so it wasn't that big a deal. I didn't think that I couldn't sprint. All right, so here was my technique for showing you, like 20 successes here, is that I just failed and then didn't include it in the video. So here's a 4-star attempt. This one we need to just kill 20 Mafia with AK-47s. Again, note that because this is a late game save file, the Mafia are all mad at me, even without the rampage being active. Although here it looks like some of them, yeah, sometimes the hostile gangs are not hostile to Claude when Claude already has a wanted level. So I don't know exactly, when they turn on and off, but this has been consistent that I've seen with a number of different gangs where they would normally be hostile towards Claude at a particular moment in the playthrough, but then if Claude has a wanted level, they're not hostile towards him. I guess this was the programmers trying to make it a little bit easier, where you don't have like all of the police after you and also, some gang after you at the same time. So thank you, Rockstar. All right, in this video, I'm mostly just showing my one successful attempt at each rampage, but don't get the wrong impression. Like, I failed about 10 or 15 times on average for each mission pass that you're watching here. This is just the highlights, really. How did I actually do the recording? So I would save my game right next to a given rampage icon using a Quicksave program that's linked in the description below, and then I would give myself 4 stars using the wanted cheat code, and then I would start the rampage and try to pass it. And then I would die, almost always from running out of health, occasionally from getting busted, and rarely from running out of time. However I failed the rampage, I would just reload my save state and repeat until I got the one pass that you're watching here. So once I passed the rampage with 4 stars, I would then try again with 5 stars. Now with 5 stars, the FBI is out, and in every FBI car, ouch, busted but passed. I'm counting it. Okay, this last rampage on Portland Island involves killing 20 triads with a shotgun. Okay, so with 5 stars, the FBI is out, and every FBI car is packed to the gills with 4 FBI agents, and every FBI agent has an M16, and about 1 second of M16 fire on Claude takes away his health. He'll go from full health and armor to 0 health and armor in roughly 1 second. That is not an exaggeration. Of course, you're not going to see that here because I'm just showing you my one pass, but trust me, I died very, very many times at the hands of the FBI and their powerful artillery. Okay, if after a few attempts with 5 stars, it became clear to me that I had basically no chance of passing the rampage with 5 stars, then I would just give up on the rampage and move on, and that's what you're looking at when you see the 4-star rampages like this one here. But some of my early 5-star attempts showed some promise, and in those cases I would keep trying for a little while longer, maybe 10 more minutes or whatever, and occasionally I managed to pass something with 5 stars, like the previous rampage, a couple of rampages back you saw me pass one with 5 stars, and I also attempted a few rampages with 6 stars. I usually didn't last long on my 6-star attempts either, because in this case soldiers are after you as well as tanks, and the soldiers that come out when you have 6 stars can shred your health in about a second, just like the FBI agents. Also, it turns out that getting run over by a tank kind of hurts. That's your public service announcement for the day. All right, so I started most attempts with full health and full armor, which is normally 100 hit points each or 200 hit points altogether. However, it is possible to get your health up to 125 in GTA 3 by doing a certain activity in a car. And so you'll notice that at the start of just about every rampage in this video, you're going to see that I have 100 armor, full armor, and 125 health. So you'll see it coming up here right there. So a total of 225 hit points. This is the rocket rampage where you have to take out 30 yardies. Doing rampages with the rocket launcher means you can't run and you can't even jump, which, like, walking and jumping is faster than walking. And so this one was particularly difficult. Again, you're seeing my one pass with 4 stars, but anything involving lots of wanted attention and a rocket launcher is problematic for Claude. That's what I found. Okay, so again, I'm not going to get into the details of how one gets up to 125 health instead of 100, but I did make a video that was like half about this particular activity. But anyway, I did that activity off video here today because there might be kids watching. So for most rampages, you'll see that I start with 225 hit points in all. Now, like I said, I failed about 10 or 15 times on average for each rampage. I didn't keep track, but I'm guessing that was my average number of deaths, 10 to 15 per rampage. And occasionally, I've passed a rampage in very few attempts. A couple of times I passed on my first attempt. And then there were also some rampages that took me more than 15 attempts, like this one right here. Some of them took a lot more than 15 attempts. Ugh. All right, so one difficulty I hadn't considered is that even if I start a rampage attempt with 4 stars and therefore no FBI officers with M16s out, in causing all the mayhem required to pass the rampage, I often got a 5th star during the rampage. And so you saw this in one of the earlier clips in this video. And so as soon as you get that 5th star, immediately you get the FBI after you and their overpowered guns, and you might also get a 6th star while doing the rampage and causing all this required destruction, which brings out the tanks and the military with their overpowered guns. Like I mentioned, for most of the rampages, you're carrying a heavy weapon, like in this one here, and so you can't run most of the time. But if you can jump, like right here, I can't run with the flamethrower, but jumping and walking, like I said, is quicker than just straight up walking. And so I really only felt like hampered by movement in the cases where I had something that I couldn't even jump with. Forget about sprinting. Okay, and this one, 25 Yakuza need to go down with the flamethrower, and this is, oh, look at that, jumping right over the car. That was awesome. So this is another 4-star attempt. You'll find that most of my attempts are going to be 4 stars with the occasional 5 and 6 star success. But really, 4 stars was plenty difficult for me, and again, the 5th star with the FBI and the 6th star with the Army soldiers, like the, oh, look out, boom. They just shredded me so quickly that if I didn't have the ability to run away, like if I'm holding grenades, I can run. But most of the rampages do not allow you to run, so that's why most of my successes were at 4 stars only and not 5 or 6. Okay, so most of my attempts ended in my death. You're not going to see many of my deaths here because, like I said, I'm just showing you highlights. But the most common ways in which I lost health were getting shot by police, obviously, they're after me, getting run over by police. So, you see me get clobbered by these police cars going full speed. And so, you can sometimes tank like 50 plus hit points when you get hit at full speed by a police car or an FBI car. Also, if you get stuck, like if a police car lands on top of you and you can't get out, then you'll die. Like your health drains pretty quick, but there's just nothing you can do if you're underneath one of these vehicles. And so that would be basically just an instant mission fail. All right, next rampage is 17 yardies with the sniper, but you got to take them off at the head, which is very challenging. This was another very difficult one for me because to take off their heads, you got to aim pretty carefully. And right now I'm kind of distracted by all of the cops and mayhem that's happening because of my 4-star wanted level. Here I got a little bit lucky that the yardies and the police were like distracting each other. There might be, I don't know, like another gang over there or something. Is that Yakuza in the black, I think? So I kind of had a free run for a little while before the police turned their attention back on me. Okay, another common way that I got hurt real bad during many of my attempts was to be too close to an exploding vehicle. And so, you know, like for the rocket launcher rampages or the M16 rampages, I oftentimes destroyed, you know, a lot of vehicles. Like in the grenades, you have to destroy a lot of vehicles. And so if I was too close, like if I'm in a rocket launcher and I see a vehicle on fire and I can't run and I can't jump to get away, I might just end up caught in the blast, even if I know it's coming. All right, and there were a couple of times that the gang that I was massacring in the rampage would fight back, but other than getting killed just a small handful of times by like a Colombian cartel member or a Southside hood. You saw in this particular rampage here that there was a yardie who was in my face and hitting me with a bat for a little bit, but generally the gangs just left me alone, even if I was shredding, you know, their buddies. And again, I think this is a programming choice that Rockstar made, where if you have a certain level of wanted attention, then gangs that would normally come after you don't. And I appreciate that for this challenge especially. Yeah, so the gangs fighting back against me was generally the least of my worries. But you're going to see me shake the camera here. 5 hit points, and oh, I guess I didn't shake, but I was very happy. 0 hit points. Very happy to have that one done. Like I said, anything where you got to knock off heads, and there's 3 of them, was very tough with all of the wanted attention. Okay, so here's another 4-star attempt you're going to see. This one is 16 Yakuza with Molotovs. The nice thing about Molotovs is that you can run. And so I thought maybe this would be one where I could pass with 5 or even 6 stars because I could run and get away from the FBI and the soldiers with 5 or 6 stars. But nope, that did not work. You know, I would catch on fire because I was trying to, you know, throw something and then run away from the, you know, the FBI or whatever, and then it just, I'd try to jump out of the way of I don't know how I didn't catch fire there. Like I tried to jump out of the way of a police car or an FBI car. I think I just jumped over one backwards. And sometimes Claude would, you know, like dive, and you don't have any control over that, and then I'm just stuck there while the FBI is ready to load up on me as soon as I stand up from my dive. So 4 stars was the best I was able to do on this one here. All right, so according to the rules that Marcin suggested, I did my best to stay on the road or the sidewalk. I did learn at some point, you know, like as I was going through all 20 of these rampages, that being like near a wall, even like on a sidewalk, like I'm staying within the, you know, the spirit of the challenge here. But just being near a wall on a sidewalk is oftentimes safer than being out in the open in the middle of the street. All right, so this rampage here is 8 vehicles with a shotgun. You'll see me do this one with 5 stars, which is really funny because when I'm speedrunning this game, I feel like this is one of the hardest rampages for me to pass with no stars, no wanted level, because the shotgun just doesn't reach all that far. Like the shotgun has a certain distance, right, where you can hit a car from a certain maximum distance away. Like, am I hitting that one? Can't even tell. Yeah, all right, I guess I was hitting it there. I'm really close to the edge of that one. But then an exploding car has a certain radius where if you're in that radius, then you get hurt. And the range of the shotgun is not that much bigger, in my experience, than the exploding radius of the exploding car. And so I would just lose a lot of health trying to get close enough to these vehicles to hit them, but not so close that I would die in an explosion. Okay, so here is a 4-star attempt at... what is this one? This is an M16, 15 vehicles. That's what this one is. And police vehicles count, so I like having a steady stream of them. Okay, so like I said, sometimes I would stay near a wall, but I did my best to stay out of grass and trees and all those other things. I just tried to stay on the road and sidewalk as much as possible. Sometimes I did run around a corner, still on a sidewalk or on a road, but just trying to get out of the you know, out of the way of or make it so that look at that, another awesome jump over a car. Make it so that the police can't see me because I'm just around a corner of a building. Sometimes I would hide behind a collection of blown up cars in the middle of the road. I didn't feel any qualms about doing that. You know, I'm taking whatever natural protection. So that's me just turning a corner just so that most of the police can't see me with their guns. Yeah, I took any protection I could get. If there were pedestrians around, I would have hid behind them too. Just anything to keep my health up. Like I said, dying from no health. That was the most common way to fail. Not busted, not drowned, not running out of time, but just running out of health. So here we are with 29 hit points left. Easy. It's easy. This whole challenge is easy. Okay, last rampage coming up. Oh, busted. Last rampage coming up on Shoreside. Sorry, on Staunton. This is 25 yardies with grenades. There are going to be, there were a few rampages that we've seen maybe, and some coming up where I would start to, like I would sometimes pause instead of just running immediately out in the middle of the road, because sometimes I would just get absolutely blasted with a police car. Like it would just run right over me as soon as I got onto the road. So occasionally I would just kind of hang out and hide, like not on the road or on the sidewalk for the first few seconds of a rampage. But again, trying to stay within the spirit of the challenge. When I was like hiding from police in the beginning of some of these rampages, like I never started killing members of the target gang. I didn't do that until I was out from my hiding spot permanently for like that particular rampage. And so I thought that was okay to just kind of bide my time sometimes for the first few moments of a given rampage, just so I don't lose like 60 points of health before I even get a shot off. Okay, and again, in order to stay true to the spirit of the challenge, I never used a health pickup, like a heart pickup, or an armor pickup. I don't think either of those were excluded by Marcin, but clearly this is a run and gun, can you survive as a one-man army? And so I avoided refilling my health, even though that would have helped me. This is the only time I drowned. There's one drown, one death in this this video compilation here. Yeah, that was a surprise. All right, so this particular one is 8 vehicles with a shotgun. Sorry, that is not this one at all. Oh, this is the first one on Shoreside Vale. 15 vehicles with rockets. I like this rampage in general. I did not like it during this challenge because it was just so tough. Again, when I'm hamstrung with a rocket launcher, I can't run, I can't even jump, and so if the police are walking slowly after me, I just have to walk away at the same rate. And sometimes I would shoot a rocket thinking I was going to hit a car, but there would be a police officer that would just walk into my field of view, and he would die, and like I would just lose tons of hit points. One thing to note is that destroying the police helicopter, which is like above you, doesn't count as a vehicle. Like I did it oftentimes just because the helicopter would hurt me a lot with its bullets raining down, but it doesn't count for the rampage in terms of being one of the 15 required vehicles to destroy. Okay, so while we're checking out the last few rampages, I figured I could just read a little bit from the wiki about some random thing that I haven't talked about in any of my videos. What is this one here? Oh, this was another tough one, gang. 15 Colombian heads. Anything with heads is difficult. So here I'm just waiting a few seconds, just waiting for the police officers to get settled. I'm not going to shoot anybody from up here because that's not within the spirit of the challenge. And now I'll start shooting when I'm down here. Okay, so let's talk a little bit. So this is me reading from the wiki about the different editions of GTA 3. GTA 3 has 3 distinct editions. The original edition for the PS2, Xbox, and PC. You're seeing me play on the original for PC through Steam. The 10-year anniversary edition for the Apple iOS and the Android. And then finally the definitive edition for PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, PC, Nintendo Switch, and mobile devices. The original edition was released October 22nd, 2001. The 10th anniversary edition was, not surprisingly, 10 years later, December 15, 2011. And the definitive edition, basically another 10 years after that, November 11th, 2021, a day which will live in infamy. All right, so the 10th year anniversary edition was announced by Rockstar Games during October of 2011. The edition was released for mobile phones and tablets such as iPod, iPhone, Android. A limited edition of Claude action figure was available for pre-order for $149.99. Only 1,500 of these action figures were made. And I just did a quick search on eBay for these figures, and there's several of them up there, going from $1,000 and up. Holy cow, $1,000 for this little Claude toy. I want one, but not for $1,000 worth. The iOS version of GTA 3, the 10th anniversary edition, has received favorable reception, with IGN rewarding it with a 7.5 out of 10. There's some changes that are noted here. I'm not going to read all of them from the wiki, but for example, the interface has been adapted for touchscreens, including a fully functional map. That would have been very helpful for me, Rockstar. All right, so this one is 20 hoods with the shotgun. We're going to try this one with 5 stars. This one was one of the easier ones. I think I passed on my first attempt with 4 stars, so tried with 5 and got this success. Love jumping over cars. Also in the 10th anniversary edition, you can rotate the camera freely while you're in a vehicle. You can immediately restart a failed mission. There's some better resolution textures for vehicles, some improved character models, but no more character dismemberment because the pedestrian parts can no longer be detached based on the changes that were made. Several particles and effects were fixed. For example, the glow under pickups not appearing on PC. I don't know what that means. Is it supposed to be there and it's not, and that's a glitch, and they fixed it? Yeah, I've never noticed a glow underneath any of the pickups in this game. Okay, and then we'll read a little bit about the Definitive Edition, not too much because I think even mentioning the Definitive Edition might get some of my viewers triggered. All right, so that one is passed with 5 stars. Here's a 4-star attempt, another very challenging one for me because, again, it has to deal with popping off heads. So this one is 20 hoods, heads with wait, I have that right? I don't think I have that right. 20 hoods, heads with the M16. That's what it is. This is a tough rampage in general with no wanted attention. I end up definitely going to my hidey hole, and I picked a hidey hole in my speedrunning route that is very close to a health refill, not an armor refill, but the heart refill. All right. So, the Definitive Edition was announced by Rockstar October 8th, 2021 as part of the Trilogy Definitive Edition pack, released in November 2021 for a bunch of stuff, and then for a bunch of consoles, and then December 2023 for Android, iOS. The edition features across-the-board upgrades, including graphical improvements and modern gameplay enhancements, while still maintaining the classic look and feel of its original version. Okay, again, lots of changes. I'm not going to read all of them. Updated mini-maps, enhanced navigation allowing players to set waypoints to destinations. So you don't need to learn the map. You just say, GPS, take me where I want to go. Updated weapon and radio station selection wheels, ability to restart a failed mission, some Rockstar Games Social Club accomplishments. Oh yeah, so there were like achievements or maybe they're called trophies for the Definitive Edition. Yeah, I was kind of nervous at this point in this particular playthrough because this was maybe the hardest one out of all the challenges. Like I just died so many times, but there it is, passed, shaking the camera because we are happy. GTA 6-seater. Okay, next up, 20 Colombians with a car. So this one is pretty safe, which is why I've got 6 stars. I just need to avoid getting run into by a tank, and then we're good to go. So this was one of the easier ones here. And I think I'll kill even more than 20 because I still am kind of salty towards these Colombians after all the times they tortured me in my playthrough for this series. Okay, coming back to the Definitive Edition changes, high-resolution textures, resolution upgrades, brilliant new lighting and environmental upgrades, increased draw distances, enhanced shadows and reflections, improved water and weather effects, trees and foliage improvements, and then some platform-specific stuff. The game plays at 60 FPS on some of the consoles, and then for like the Switch, you can use the touchscreen to zoom your camera in and to pan, and use the menu. And you can also use the gyro controls for aiming with the Switch. Okay, here's another rampage that I find quite difficult even without any wanted attention because the Colombians are mad at me, but you can see here that they're not coming after me. And it was inconsistent. Like, I'm going to pass this rampage with 4 stars. So by the way, we got to kill, how many was it for this one? Something, 25 Yakuza with the flamethrower. And so when I'm going to pass this here with the 4 stars, you're going to see that the Colombians are not mad at me. And normally they would be mad at me from the beginning of the game, which makes this rampage very difficult. But for some reason, they're not coming after me. And I think it's because I've got the 4 stars. I have stars. And when I tried again after passing with 4 stars, I tried again with 5 stars. And now all of a sudden the Colombians were mad at me again. And so I just got shredded by the Colombians and I got shredded by the FBI, and I wasn't able to pass with 5 stars. All right, so I think that's about all I'll say. We just got one rampage left in this video. That was number 19. So the final rampage here is going to be destroying 7 vehicles, and I added an extra challenge to myself in addition to the 6 stars. If you watch carefully, you're going to see that I do not fire my weapon one single time. Like I mentioned, vehicles that are getting destroyed, you get credit for it even if it's destroyed because of a tank. So I just decided to kind of play keep away and let the tanks do my dirty work. So thank you so much for the challenge to Marcin. This was frustrating at times, mostly fun. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you real soon.